Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out. Boy, I'm glad they can't hear me.
I leave it to Channel 9 to handle this the way they think they see fit.
Channel 9 reporter Tony Jones has angered Novak Djokovic's supporters by going rogue and sledging the Serbian superstar on a live broadcast. Jones was reading the sports news when a large group of Djokovic fans holding Serbian flags began cheering in the background behind him. And he did the stupidest thing you can imagine. For no reason, he started insulting Novak Djokovic.
Melbourne Park, where you can see the Novak Djokovic fans there in full voice. Yeah, the chants are quite extraordinary. Novak, he's overrated. Novak's a has-been. Novak, kick him out. Boy, I'm glad they can't hear me.
After this comments, Djokovic declined to do a customary post-match TV interview at the Australian Open to protest against a reporter who works for the official broadcaster of the tournament.
Thank you very much for being here tonight. I appreciate your presence and the support, and I'll see you next round. Thank you very much.
During his post-match interview, Djokovic said he wants an apology from Channel 9 and Tony Jones.
So I would like to just clarify the reason why the interview was not conducted on the court, the post-match interview, like it's a common, usual practice. A couple of days ago, the famous sports journalist who works for official broadcaster Channel 9 here in Australia made a mockery of Serbian fans and also made insulting and offensive comments towards me. And since then, he chose not to issue any public apology. Neither did Channel 9. So since they're official broadcasters, I chose not to give interviews for Channel 9. I have nothing against Jim Courier, neither the Australian public, and it was a very awkward situation for me to face on the court today, and it's unfortunate. I chose to say something to the crowd, but obviously it wasn't the time and space or situation for me to explain what I'm doing right now. So I leave it to Channel 9 to handle this the way they think they see fit, and that's all.
This be an ongoing stance until you get an apology?
Yes, exactly.
Novak, was there anything said by the crowd tonight that specifically irritated you? I think the chair at one point said something along the lines of, "Oh, that wasn't deliberate." Was there anything that? No,
look, it's nothing that really stands out or extraordinary. Every match something different happens, but this was. I already explained myself. The reason why I wasn't giving an interview is not for the crowd; it was for the Channel 9 situation. Yeah. If you guys want to fine me for not giving an on-court interview, that's okay. I'll accept that because I feel like this is something that needs to be done, and that's all there is to it.
Does it obviously you feel like you've been disrespected and your people have been disrespected and insulted?
Right.
Does this make you even more determined to win the title here?
No. Not particularly. I'm very determined already, so.
But Jones, who at first thought that he shouldn't apologize, and all this was just a good-natured banter with the Serbian fans, for some reason changed his mind and went on live TV to say he is sorry for the situation.
Timeline here, the comments were made on the news on the Friday night, which I considered to be banter. I considered it to be humour, which is consistent with most things I do, whether it be the Sunday footy show, whether it be the morning show here. Having said that, I was made aware on the Saturday morning from Tennis Australia via the Djokovic camp that the Djokovic camp was not happy at all with those comments. Now, as such, I immediately contacted the Djokovic camp and issued an apology to them, so this is 48 hours ago, for any disrespect that Novak felt that I'd caused. And as I stand here now, I stand by that apology to Novak if he felt any disrespect, which quite clearly he does. Now, I should also say the disrespect was extended, I guess, in many ways to the Serbian fans. Now, as you know, being here over the 7 years, we've built up a nice rapport with the Serbian fans. They come here with the flags and they provide so much colour and so much passion, and there was banter. So I thought what I was doing was an extension of that banter. Quite clearly, that hasn't been interpreted that way. So I do feel as though I've let down the Serbian fans. Now, I'm not just saying this to try and wriggle out of trouble or anything. I genuinely feel for those fans. If I could turn back time, right? And I know we've all got PhDs in hindsight. I think the one thing where I overstepped the mark, and this is certainly what's really sort of angered Novak Djokovic in his camp, is the last comment I made in that back and forth with the crowd, kick him out. Now, I can stand here and put whatever spin I want in that, but it can only be interpreted as a throwback to the COVID years when he was kicked out. Now, that has angered Novak, which I completely understand now. So, look, it has been an unfortunate situation. It's been one of personal angst for Novak. It's quite clearly personal angst for me as well. But I just think the priority here now is to focus on the tennis again. He's got an amazing match coming up tomorrow night against Carlos Alcaraz, and I hope that his focus can now be on that, and my focus is now the broadcast again. So I can only again tell Novak what I told him 48 hours ago, and that is I do apologise if he felt that I disrespected him. I should also add that in the correspondence with Novak's team, I agreed to meet with them in person to discuss all this. They came back and said, yes, we would be keen to meet in person. That hasn't transpired, but I'm sure it will over the next 24 hours.
So you're back on air shortly. As far as you consider the situation right now, is this case closed?
I hope so.
Djokovic went on X to share his thoughts about the situation and was supported by billionaire Elon Musk and English journalist Piers Morgan.
The reason why I did not do an interview that is a common practice after the matches for the winner to do a post-match interview. So just wanted to make sure that I clarify with everyone what happened. The reason why I chose not to do that is because a few days ago, a famous sports journalist here from Australia who works for a main broadcaster of Australian Open at Channel 9 decided to mock Serbian fans, and he made insulting and offensive comments towards me. So I was hoping he's going to apologize in public, which he hasn't done yet. Neither did Channel 9. So that's the only reason why I didn't do the interview. It was, of course, not a great feeling for me, and it was quite awkward on the court. Jim Courier was the one that came out. I have tremendous respect for him, and I always love speaking to Jim. And I know that a lot of people wanted to hear me speak, so I apologize for everyone being on the stadium and not being able to hear me speak, and on the TV as well. But that's the main reason, and I have to stand by, my decision and hold these stands until something is done. So I leave it to Channel 9, and hopefully that situation will change for the next match. All the best.
Musk replied to this post by saying, "It's way better just to talk to the public directly than go through the negativity filter of legacy media." And Piers Morgan replied saying, "Djokovic is right. That Channel 9 guy was an absolute tool.